So in the previous video, we were able to identify the settlement patterns. So now we're going to apply this to this map. So if we look at Discovery Bay, what kind of settlement or settlement pattern can we see from observation here? We see that the settlements are close together. We see that they're joining at a junction, and we see built up areas. So definitely this would be an example of a nucleated settlement pattern. If we look, for instance, at Dunbarton down here, we see that these settlement patterns are following a road, which is a line. So in this case, this would be an example of a linear settlement pattern. If we look in Mount Olivet section, we see one or two settlements, well, three, and they're scattered. So in this case, it would be a dispersed settlement pattern. So when we look at describing settlement, we can describe them based on the following: agriculture. And again, we look on the key to identify what crops or what is being cultivated. So we use the symbols or we use the colors that are used on the map. Mining can also be shown on the map using queries, right? So again, you look at the key in order to identify these. Fishing can be identified using like jetties, and this will be located close to the coast of the map. So again, you look in the key to find these. Forestry, the map can be used, or the settlement or the land use, I should say, in the area can be used for forestry. So like woodland or forested areas. So you use the key again to see the different shades of green that will be used. Manufacturing can be shown as well in terms of factories, which will be indicated in the key. Transportation is also shown on the map using roads, railways, ports. And of course, our settlements can be shown on the map to indicate the land use on the map. So again, we know that our roads, the main road is represented in red. So we can see a main road running through. We see different shades of green, which indicate vegetation or forestry. We see that crops are also indicated on this map. If you look carefully in the key, you can see what crops are grown. And we see settlements represented on the map. So when you look at a map, there are several factors that influence settlements. The first one is relief. So when we speak of relief, we speak of the land itself, the shape of the land. Whether it is flat or steep. How do we know this on the map? We use our contour lines to determine that. And we know that for a flat land, it's better for persons to construct on a flat land. So in that case, you'd have more persons located on a flat area versus a steep area. Water supply is important in terms of settlement because persons can use water, for example, a river, for domestic purposes, transportation, agriculture, anything that can help to make their life easier. And then we have transportation is another factor. So in terms of road networks, we know that roads are represented. Our main road is represented in red, minor roads in orange or yellow. And this helps with movement, so people being able to move from one place to another and be able to transport goods from one place to the next. When we look at settlements, we have two main types. We have urban and we have rural. Urban reflects a higher standard of living, so that's where you have more of your towns and cities, and it's usually located on flat lands. We have more businesses, we have more social services like schools, hospitals, churches. We have better transportation networks, so we have a lot of road networks being shown, right? And this is associated with a nucleated and in some cases, linear settlement patterns. Rural would be the opposite, lower standard. They're located on steeper lands, less businesses, less social services, limited road networks, and they would be represented on a dispersed and in some cases